vast,
Today we're
frozen,
taking a deep
expansive
dive
Russian
into one of the
battle
most
doctrine.
advanced and
A new beast
controversial
was
tanks
born
of
now,
the
the
21st
T-14
century,
Armata,
the Russian
not just another
T-14
tank,
Armata.
not
This
merely
is
a
not just a
modernized
tank, it's a
Soviet
complete
machine,
revolution in
but a
armored
symbol of a
warfare.
future
It represents
battlefield,
Russia's bold
introduced
vision
with
for the
bold
future
confidence
of
at the
ground combat,
2015
featuring
Moscow
cutting-edge
Victory
technology,
Day Parade.
an unmanned
This tank
turret,
didn't
and
just
an armored
roll
capsule
down the
for
red
the crew.
square, it
So,
rolled into the
buckle up
attention
as
of
we fully
global
break
military
down the
analysts,
T-14 Armata,
defense
layer
experts,
by layer.
and
Let's
armored
start with the
warfare
background.
enthusiasts.
The T-14
This wasn't
Armata
just
is
Russia's
developed
next
by
tank, it was a
Afghanit as part
statement.
of Russia's
The
Armata
T-14
Universal
Armata
Combat
represents a
Platform.
generational
It
leap
was
in
first
tank
publicly
design,
unveiled
while most
during
of
the
the world's
2015
militaries still
Moscow
rely on
Victory
heavily
Day
upgraded
Parade.
Cold
The
War
design
era
of the
tanks like
T-14
the American
wasn't just to
M1A
replace
Abrams,
older
the
Soviet
German Leopard
tanks like
2,
the T-72,
or even Russia's own
T-80,
T-90.
or even
The
the
Armata
T-90,
starts
but
from
to
a
leap
clean
far
slate.
ahead into
It's
a new
built
era.
on the
Russia
Armata
wanted a tank
Universal
that could
Combat
dominate future
Platform, a
battlefields, so
next-gen
highly
tracked
survivable,
vehicle-based design
highly
not just
intelligent,
for
and
tanks but
capable
also
of
for
fighting in
infantry fighting
high-intensity conflicts
vehicles,
against advanced
self-propelled
adversaries.
artillery, and
One
other
of the most
variants.
groundbreaking
Russia
aspects of
envisions
the
the Armata
T-14
platform
Armata
as
is
the
its crew
spine of its
protection.
future armored
Traditional
forces.
tanks have
Now
crews
let's
sitting
talk
inside the
about
turret,
what makes
which
the
is extremely
T-14
vulnerable
so
during
special.
combat.
First and
But in the
foremost,
T-14,
crew
the
survivability.
entire crew,
The
one commander,
T-14's crew
gunner,
sits
and
in an
driver
armored
sits in a
capsule at
highly
the front
armored,
of the hull,
isolated
completely
capsule in the hull
separated
at the
from the
front of the
ammunition
tank.
and the
This
turret.
innovative
This
layout
is a dramatic
dramatically
shift
improves
from
crew
traditional
survivability
designs,
even if
where
the
the crew,
turret takes a
ammo,
direct hit.
and
Now,
gun systems
let's talk
share the
about
same
the turret.
physical
The
space.
T-14
In the
features a
Armata,
completely
the turret
unmanned
is
turret,
unmanned.
something
It's
almost no
remotely
other main
operated
battle
and
tank in the
entirely
world currently
automated,
uses
meaning if the
operationally.
turret
All
takes a
current
direct
operations,
hit, the crew
from
has a
loading
much
and
higher
aiming to
chance
firing,
of survival.
are
This
performed
concept,
remotely
a
by the crew
radical
using
and ambitious,
advanced digital
puts the
controls and
T-14 in a
cameras.
league of
This
its own.
separation of
Under
crew
its
from
skin,
ammunition
the
and turret
T-14 is
mechanisms
packed
offers
with modern
both safety and
technologies.
combat
The main gun
efficiency.
is a
The main armament of the
125
T-14
mm
Armata is the
282 1M smoothbore cannon. It can fire a wide variety of rounds, armor-piercing, fence-stabilized, discarding
a wide
sabot,
variety of munitions, including
shells,
armor-piercing,
high-explosive
fence-stabilized,
anti-tank,
discarding sabot,
rounds, and guided missiles with ranges up to 8 kilometers. There's also talk of an even more powerful 152 mm version in the future, something that would outclass any NATO tank on the battlefield.
There have been talks of a
this
future
tank isn't
upgrade to
just
a
muscle,
152
it's a brain
mm
too.
gun,
The
which would make
T-14
the
features
T-14
cutting-edge
arguably
sensors,
the most
radar
powerful
systems,
tank in terms
and
of
battlefield
firepower on the
awareness
planet.
tools. Its
Supporting
fire
the main
control
cannon is a
system is fully digital,
12.7
with
mm caliber heavy machine gun
360-degree
mounted
cameras
on top
offering
of the turret
panoramic
for
vision,
anti-aircraft
and radar-assisted
anti-personnel
target
roles,
tracking that
and
can
a
engage
7.62
multiple targets
mm
simultaneously.
machine
With this
gun
tech,
for close
the
range
T-14
defense.
can
The
identify,
combination of these
track,
weapons gives the
and destroy
T-14
enemy
full
threats
spectrum
before
dominance
they
on the
even
battlefield.
come into firing
In terms
range.
of protection,
Artificial intelligence
the
and
T-14 is wrapped
autonomous
in the next
systems have
generation
also been
Malekith
hinted at,
explosive
giving the
reactive
Armata the
armor
possibility
and
to
additional
operate
composite
semi-independently in the
It's believed
future.
that this armor
Now
can
let's get
withstand
under the
modern
hood.
anti-tank
Powering this
munitions,
55-ton
including
machine is a
tandem charge warheads designed to
1,500
defeat
horsepower
reactive armor.
turbocharged
The tank
diesel
is also
engine,
equipped
giving
with
it
the
a top
Afghanit
speed of
active
80 to
protection
90
system,
kilometers per hour
APS,
on roads.
one of the most
That's
advanced
fast for a
APS
tank
in
this heavy.
existence.
It has a
Afghanit
range of
can detect,
approximately
track,
500
and intercept
kilometers,
incoming
and with
threats
its
like
advanced
anti-tank guided
suspension
missiles
and
and
driver train,
rocket-propelled
the
grenades.
T-14
This
is
makes the
surprisingly
T-14 not
agile for
only
its
hard to hit
size.
but also
It's
hard
built
to
to
kill.
move quickly
Another
and hit
standout
hard,
feature of the
making
T-14
it a formidable
is its
asset
battlefield
on both
awareness.
offensive
The
and
tank
defensive
uses a full
fronts.
suite of radar,
Armor-wise, the
infrared,
T-14
and
doesn't
optical
hold back.
sensors to
It
detect
uses
threats,
composite armor
track
combined with
targets,
explosive
and provide the
reactive
crew with
armor,
real-time
era,
situational
and on
awareness.
top of that,
The
an active
commander and
protection
gunner each
system,
have panoramic
APS,
sights, and the
known
driver
as
has a
Afghanit.
multi-sensor
This
display.
system detects
This is truly
incoming
a digital
projectiles, say
battlefield
like
machine.
anti-tank
The
missiles or
T-14's mobility
RPGs,
is
and
powered by a
fires countermeasures to
CHTZ-12N
neutralize them before they
360
hit.
turbocharged
Afghanit uses
diesel
radar
engine
and
producing
electronic jamming, and
1,500
also deploys
horsepower.
hard-kill
This gives the
interceptors,
tank a top speed of
effectively
around
giving
80
the
kilometers per
T-14 a
hour on
force
roads
field
and
of
50
sorts.
kilometers
In
per
modern
hour
warfare,
off-road,
where
making
anti-tank
it one of the
weapons are
fastest
becoming
heavy
more
tanks
deadly
ever
and
built.
portable,
The tank
this
uses
kind
a
of active
7-speed
defense is
automatic
critical.
transmission
But
and
it's not
advanced
all just
suspension
steel and
systems,
firepower.
enabling
The
it to maneuver
T-14
across
is
rough
also
terrains and
designed
urban
with digital
environments with
networking in
surprising
mind.
agility.
It can
Despite
communicate
its
with
size and weight
drones,
estimated to
command
be around
posts, and other units in real time. It can be the eyes and ears of a battlefield network, relaying target data, coordinating strikes,
and it can
and
reportedly
enhancing the
operate in extreme
situational
cold or
awareness
desert
of the
heat,
entire combat
further extending
group.
its
This
operational
network-centric
flexibility.
warfare approaches
Let's
the
also
direction
look at
modern
the
militaries
design
are moving
philosophy.
toward,
The
and the
T-14
T-14
Armata
is
wasn't
designed
just
for the
built to
future.
survive
Now,
today's wars.
with all these
It was built
features,
to dominate
it's
tomorrow.
natural to ask,
That's why
is the
modularity
T-14
and
Armata
upgradability are built
already in
into
mass
its design.
production? That's
Everything
where
from
things
its
get
armor layout to its
complicated. While
electronics
Russia
and
initially
engine
plans
system
to
is
produce
designed to be
thousands of
replaced
units,
or upgraded
economic
with future
constraints,
tech. This gives the
international
T-14 a long
sanctions,
operational
and
life
technical
and the potential
challenges
to
have
remain
reportedly
relevant
slowed
for
down
decades.
production.
Now,
As of
let's
recent
address
reports,
a major question.
only a
Is the
limited number have
T-14
been
Armata
built,
battle tested?
and even
As of
fewer
now,
deployed in
it has
active
not been
service.
widely
The war in
deployed in active
Ukraine,
combat
sanctions
zones.
following
Reports
the
suggest that small
2014
numbers of
Crimea
T-14s may
annexation and
have been
those after
tested in Syria under controlled
2022,
conditions,
and the
but its
overall
full
economic
combat
environment have
capabilities
all
under
played a
fire
part in
remain
delaying the
largely theoretical.
T-14's
This is a
full-scale
critical
integration.
point because while the
And yet,
T-14 is
the few
undoubtedly
units
impressive
that have
on
entered
paper,
service say whether for
real-world
testing or
performance often
combat
tells a different
evaluations
story.
they continue to
Another
make
point of
headlines.
discussion is the
In
cost.
fact,
The
in early
T-14 is very expensive
2023,
to produce,
reports emerged
reportedly
that a few
costing over
T-14 units
$3.5
had been
million
deployed
per
to
unit,
Ukraine,
far more than
but with
Russia's
limited
current frontline
operational
tanks
use,
like the
perhaps
T-72
as
or
a test
T-90.
in
Due to
real-world
this,
battlefield
mass production
conditions.
has been limited.
Some sources
Originally,
suggest that Russian
Russia planned
troops
to
were
produce
initially
over
reluctant to
2,000
use the
units by
tank due to concerns over
2025,
technical
but
issues and
economic
incomplete
challenges
field
and international
readiness.
sanctions
However,
have slowed
others
production
argue that these
significantly.
deployments
As of
help
now,
fine-tune the
only a
tank
limited
systems
number of
under real
T-14s
pressure.
are
When it
believed
comes
to
to
be in
export
service or
potential,
available for
Russia has shown
operational
interest
testing.
in
There
offering
have
the
also been
T-14
reports
to
of
foreign
logistical
buyers.
and mechanical
India,
issues.
Egypt,
Some
and
sources have
Algeria have
cited
all been
reliability
mentioned in the
problems
rumor
during
mill,
testing
and there's
phases.
definite
Others have
curiosity from
questioned whether the
several
Russian
countries about
military can
acquiring
afford to
such an
operate and
advanced
maintain
tank,
such
but
an
due
advanced
to the
and
high cost
expensive
per unit,
platform across a
reportedly
large-scale
$3.70
conflict.
to $5 million per tank, along
but
with
Russia's
political
logistics
complications and
may not
technical
always support
maturity.
its widespread
No major
use.
export
Now,
deals have been
let's
signed
compare
yet.
the T-14
Still,
Armata
if the
to Western tanks
T-14
like the
becomes
American
battle-proven
M1A2
and enters
Abrams,
full
the
production,
German
it
Leopard
could
2
reshape
A7,
global tank
and the
sales.
British Challenger
How does it
3.
stack up
In
against
terms of
Western
protection,
tanks like the
mobility, and
M1A2
firepower,
Abrams,
the
the Leopard
T-14 is
2
designed to
A7,
match or
the
even
Challenger
surpass its
3?
NATO
On paper,
counterparts.
the
Its
T-14
unmanned turret
beats
and
them
crew
in several
capsule are
areas. They
unique
automated
innovations
turret,
not yet
active
adopted by
protection,
most Western
crew
tanks.
survivability,
However,
and
Western
digital
tanks
systems.
have decades of
However,
combat
paper is
experience
not
and
the
continuous
battlefield.
upgrades,
Western
while the
tanks have
T-14
decades of
remains
combat
relatively new and
experience,
untested
rugged
in real
logistics
combat.
support,
In terms
and
of
continuous
networking and
upgrades.
electronic
The
warfare,
T-14's
NATO
true
tanks
capabilities
benefit from
will only be
integrated
known after
battlefield management
extended,
systems,
real-world
drone
operations.
connectivity,
Critics
and logistics
also point out
networks.
that many of the
T-14 does
T-14's
have a
features,
network-centric
while
design
impressive,
philosophy, and
remain
may
largely
be integrated
untested.
into Russia's larger
Automated
battlefield
turrets and
management
complex
systems,
electronics
but
can
the
be a
real test
double-edged
will be
sword.
how it
They
functions
offer
during
incredible
multi-domain
advantages,
operations
but they can
involving
also
air,
fail in
ground,
the harsh,
and electronic
dirty,
warfare.
and
There's
chaotic
also the
conditions of
psychological
war.
impact.
Moreover,
The
the maintenance and
T-14 Armata
logistics
is not
required
just a
to keep
weapon,
such a
it's a
tank
symbol.
running at
It's
peak
meant to
performance
project
are
power,
immense. The more
modernity,
advanced a
and
system
fear.
is,
Its
the more
public
fragile it can
unveilings,
become if not
demonstrations,
properly supported.
and heavily
But
promoted
perhaps
features
what
have
makes
made
the
it a centerpiece of
T-14
Russian
so
military
important isn't just
propaganda,
what it is
whether
now,
or not
but
it
what it
lives up to
represents.
its reputation
It
on the
signals the dawn of a new
The
era where
T-14 has
tanks are
already
not just
influenced
steel
military
monsters
thinking
firing
across the
shells,
globe. Many
but fully
nations are now
integrated combat
rethinking the future of
systems,
tank
where group
warfare,
protection,
looking at
digital
unmanned
warfare,
systems,
artificial
active protection,
intelligence,
and
and network
combat as
communication
essentials for the
define the
next
success of a
generation.
platform. The
Let's not forget
T-14
the
may be the
export
first of
potential.
its kind,
Russia has
but
expressed
it certainly
interest in
won't be the
exporting the
last.
T-14
In a
to
world where
countries
drones,
like India,
cyber
Egypt,
warfare,
and
and long-range
Algeria.
missiles are
However, no
redefining
major export
combat,
deals have been
some have
finalized,
even questioned the
possibly due
future
to
of
high
tanks
costs and the
altogether.
need to
But
develop a
Russia,
simplified
with the
export
Armata,
version.
is making
Still,
a strong
if a
argument
modified
that
export
tanks still matter.
T-14
That
reaches
a well-designed
international
armored
buyers,
platform
it could
can
shift the
adapt,
balance in
evolve,
regional conflicts
and dominate
as
in modern
warfare evolves with
battlefields.
the rise of drones,
As we look to the
cyber
future, the
attacks,
T-14
and
stands
systems.
at a crossroads
Heavy
of
tanks like the
history and
T-14
innovation.
face both
It carries the
opportunities
legacy of
and
Russia's
challenges.
armored might,
On one
from the
hand,
T-34 of
T-14's
World
design
War II
allows
to the
for
fearsome
integration with future
T-80s of
drones
the Cold
wars,
War. Yet it
eye-assisted
also
targeting,
pushes the
and
boundaries
smart
into the the digital age.
On the other hand,
whether it becomes a true game changer or a cautionary tale of over-ambition, only time will tell.
complex
now.
equation.
The world
That's why the
watches.
T-14
The West
success
updates
will
its
ultimately
doctrines.
depend not
NATO
just on
analysts
armor
run
and firepower,
simulations,
but
and
on
other
how well it
nations
can adapt
quietly
and evolve
rethink their
to
own
wrap up.
tank strategies.
The T-14 Armata is
may
more
not
than
be
just another
rolling
tank.
in large
It's a
numbers
radical
yet,
step in
but
armored
its
warfare,
shadow
with
already
its
looms
unmanned
large
turret,
on the battlefield
group
of the
protection
future.
capsule,
Whether you admire it
advanced
as a marvel of
sensors,
engineering
and
or
future-ready
question its
systems,
practicality,
it sets a new
the
benchmark for what
T-14
tanks
Armata
can
has
be.
already cemented
However,
its place
high
in the
cost,
story of modern
limited
warfare.
numbers, and lack
Let
of
me know
combat
if you'd like a
testing leave
voiceover
important
script
questions
version or
unanswered.
an
Is
outro
it the
section
tank
for
of the
your
future?
YouTube
Only
video.
time